Good morning, y'all. I feel like I got a little heavy on the eyeshadow this morning now that I'm looking in the camera. But the glasses will take it away. Good morning, good morning. So, with my video about checking out Kern County, I've been just making sure that I am not spreading misinformation, and I'm wanting to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row. But this is what it's looking like. So Kern County is the #1 agricultural producer in the United States and one of the largest contained regions of different products that we have. And I believe it was an $8 billion industry last year, and they have edged out Fresno as being the #1 agricultural county. Not only is it the #1 agricultural county, as I said, in California, in the United States, it is a producer that also contributes to the world. And some of their main products are citrus, oranges, lemons, and they also do other almonds. They do, I think it was 15% of the world's supply of almonds, 85% of California's supply of almonds, and in other various products like carrots. So why should this problem or this #1 county, agricultural producing county in Kern County, California, be interesting to the rest of the country? Because the farm laborers that pick those crops and harvest that food, irrigate those fields, apply pesticides, and do all the things that farmers do, are oftentimes undocumented. And a couple weeks ago, there were some raids, immigration raids, in Kern County. And after those raids, 25% of the workforce did not show up to work. The next day, 75% did not show up to work. When they were questioned, they said, "Why would I go to work when I could just be arrested there? Why wouldn't I just stay home?" If this catches on around the country, including in the county I live in, where there's tomatoes and strawberries and oranges, and if all migrant workers and undocumented workers do not go to work within a week, I believe that we would start feeling the effects of that. Now, how does that relate to public schools? Excuse me. I'm a public school teacher. I'm a Title I school teacher, which means that the majority of my students are economically disadvantaged. Nobody at my school pays for lunch if they're a student. Teachers pay for lunch because the federal government does not supplement teacher lunches. Why is that important? Why would I mention that? Because I don't expect a free lunch. Because our students do. Not just students in large cities, not just students that are heavily populated with students that speak other languages or students that have classifications that designate them not Americans. These are our schools in rural United States: Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Idaho, Iowa, Nevada, Washington, Massachusetts, Maine, Virginia, Florida. All over the country, there are Title I schools. Those Title I schools rely on their funding for programs like for students with disabilities, students with learning needs, students with speech needs, students with occupational therapy needs, all of the things that our students need, that our schools supply and have been supplying since about the late 1800s, early 1900s, rely on federal funding. How does this relate to Kern County? Well, since about 1935, schools have purchased the surplus from farmers. And the food that goes into our schools, the government buys from American farmers. If American farmers do not have people to pick the crops, then the federal government does not have food to purchase for our schools. So some people would say, well, once we get all of the undocumented people out of the United States, there won't be such a need for the free lunch program in our Title I schools. But again, Title I schools service populations other than those that are undocumented. They service all demographics of the United States, including the majority demographic. There are some Title I schools that are the majority demographic that receive their funding from the federal government and their food. So if Kern County, the number one agricultural producer in the United States, is unable to harvest their food, and other counties and other regions are unable to harvest their food due to the fact that undocumented workers do not go to work for fear of reprisal, we are going to be in a very, very volatile situation with our food supply. Compound that with, let me think of how I can say this, things that fly in Spanish. If it's an airplane, it's avión. And when you're feeling blue, you might have the, use another L blend. Millions of chickens are being killed, culled across the country. If there are no chickens, they cannot lay eggs. And since eggs and now cows are being tainted with the Spanish word avión for airplane, and a word that rhymes with blue, there goes the number one meat source in schools in the United States that serve chicken every single day. And if there are no eggs, who's gonna bake that bread and cakes and pastries? Y'all need to be tuning in to Kern County. This is as quick as I could do it. I'm still editing, but maybe this is all I need to say. Take care. I forgot to add, eggs are also how flu vaccines are developed. And if there's an egg shortage, I know that we're in the dead of winter, but we're going to be learning from the Southern Hemisphere what the predominant strain is, and we need to start producing for this coming fall. We'll know in September. By then, we have to be ready to go. Okay, that's all.